is Janai Lewis. Here comes the pitch to the lefty. He squares the bunt, pulls it away. Ball is outside for ball one. Third baseman forcing Croy edges in. 1 ball, no strike on the left-hand hitting. Janai Lewis forcing Thomas here in the top of the second inning. He's leading off the inning. Squares the bunt again, pulls it back. Ball high and outside for 2 balls. No strike to count. Johnson goes through the motions on the mound, maybe a little tight. Steps off, winds and fires. That one is in there for strike 1. Janai Lewis hits from the left side. All these batters crowd the line, so anything close is a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to come. He squares the ball. Here comes the pitch. Pulls it back, but it's a strike. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Lewis, here comes the pitch. Low one in the dirt. The count is now full to the leader batter for St. Thomas here in the top of the second inning. St. Thomas leading 4-0. Johnson looks in. Here comes the pitch. High and outside for ball 4. I had a game. I announced in the game. I just come back. Literally just come back and had to come announce the game. The Little League game. Caden Lewis coming to the hitting now. Excuse me, Janai Lewis coming to the hitting now. Romero at the ball game. I'm at the ball game. Just get back. Okay. Here comes the pitch. It's a strike. Okay, call you back. No balls, 1 strike. Run on first base. Romero doing the hitting. Squares the bunt. Puts it down the first base line. Beautiful bunt. Ball is in the dirt. Runner gets on safely. He's headed to second. For the second. Got him. As a beautiful bunt laid down. What your first name is? Romero? A beautiful bunt down the first baseline. Got a bit greedy, was sent to second, and he got out.
His butler here is Jordan Prentice. He was in under.
Coming to the hit now. Big fellow hit from the right side. Jordan Prentice is the name of the runner on third. Swings and fouls it back to the screen for strike 1. Jordan Prentice. Johnson looks in with 1 away as Prentice gets himself looking like a ball player. There's a runner on third. There's a 4-0 ball game. We're in the top of the second inning. Here comes the pitch. And there's a little flooper in. Oh, he touches it. As the ball had a heavy back spin. And the big Prentice was hustling down to first base. Johnson gathered the ball up, couldn't make a throw, and down safely to first is Prentice. So now runners on the corners with 1 away. We're in the top of the top of the second inning, 4-0 ball game. Favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch, first pitch swinging. Is Jacent Crook leading it off. Lead-off hitter for St. Thomas. No balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Here comes the pitch. He fouls another one. Crook is hacking. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on the corners. We're in the top of the second inning, a 4-0 ball game with St. Thomas threatening. Johnson gathers the ball, heads back to the rubber. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. No balls, 2 strikes to count. And right down the middle for strike 3. Runner heads to second. The runner doesn't leave from third. The trick of the plate, not in time. And now heading to third and getting in there safely is Prentice. As Prentice headed down to second, the runner on third base didn't leave. Finally took off. Came home, slid, got in there safely. Prentice then began to head to third. Lumbering, bumbering, making it down there, got under the tag as the ball was knocked out onto the ground, and he's now safe. So there's 5 runs across here in the top of the second. Prentice on third base with 2 away. Kanye Fleming doing the hitting for St. Thomas. 19 All-Stars, chief umpire Michael Thomas sends him back to the dugout to get himself properly attired. Again, we're live on the Vibe, bringing you the District Little League Showcase. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Swing and a miss late on a high heat for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on third base. We're in the top of the second inning, a 5-0 game in favor of St. Thomas. Swing and a miss for strike 2 as Fleming is late on the heat from Johnson. Johnson from St. Croix seemingly getting it geared up. Shakes his head. 2 strikes. 2 away. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. As Fleming shorten up on the bat. Realize he's a tad late on the gas that Johnson is throwing. Johnson looks in. Gets the sign. Here comes the pitch. He just got a piece of it to stay alive. Did Fleming. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a runner on third in that of Prentice for St. Thomas. 5-0 ball game. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. He struck him out on a beautiful pitch for strike 3. After 1.5, it's a 5-0 ball game. St. Croix coming to bat.
Before you go to conflict, when the king is king, no matter what kind of thing you do. Before universal concrete, first flow into the new empire of here. Before universal concrete, there were no deals, no discounts. Think about it. Universal concrete, making the difference.
Universal concrete, call 340-776-6600 or online at www.universalconcretegi.com. Universal Concrete, there's a genius online.
Huh? I just come back. Takes on St. Croix as St. Croix is a home team, done by flip of the coin. St. Thomas leading 5-0 here as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Coming to the hitting now for St. Croix All-Stars, the pitcher, Reedon Johnson. Here comes the pitch from fumbling ball down towards first base. First baseman gets it, loses it, and Johnson beats him to the base. As Johnson hit the ball, down towards first base. The first baseman gathered it, dropped it, couldn't find it, picked it up. And Johnson running all the way, never giving up on the play, gets down to first base safely on the E. Three. As the switch is made, 12 goes into the game. I believe that's Prentice. First pitch swing and a miss for strike one. On Rafael Nieves. George looks in, time is called. Chief umpire makes his way out to the plate, to the mound. Yes, he's making sure that Kerry George makes contact with the rubber and making his pitches. We're in the bottom of the second inning, a 5-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. St. Croix has a runner on first base in that of Johnson. Coming to do the hitting now with a strike on him is Nieves. He gets a piece of it, falls it back to the screen, bounces it back onto the field for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes. On the right-hand hitting Rafael Nieves of St. Croix, 9-10 All-Stars. Here comes the pitch from Kyrie George. Just low. Nieves, a diminutive fellow, but the size I was when I played 9-10. Maybe even a little taller. Nieves steps back in, 1 ball, 2 strikes to count with run on first. No outs. Here comes the pitch. And it's a fly ball. Shortstop gathers it in. A beautiful play by the shortstop as he drifted to his right, put it away for out number 1. Now coming to the hitting for St. Croix, Yadriel Bermudez. Here comes the pitch from George, low outside for ball 1. So there's 1 away, a run on first in that of Johnson for St. Croix. Yadriel Bermudez doing the hitting for St. Croix. Here comes the pitch from George. Ew! Got him in the back. As he now trots down to first base and George goes over to show that sportsmanship. Bermudez takes the long trot halfway into right field, headed towards the fence. George comes back over to give him, the daps up, everything safe. So now there's runners on first and second with 1 away here in the bottom of the second inning. A 5-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Now coming to the hitting, Daniel Perez as he takes strike 1. No balls, 1 strike on Perez, hitting from the right side here in the bottom of the second. Next pitch, bunged in ball down towards second base. Ball is kicked by the runner and he is out as the runner heading towards second base. That in Yadriel Bermudez contacted the ball and he is out for the second out of the inning. So there's now 2 away and runners on the corners. 5-0 the score here in the bottom of the second. St. Croix threatening, and Elijah Winter comes to do the hitting. Winter hits from the left side as the umpires are having a meeting just inside of the mound. Again, live little league action at the completion of this game. We're going to have 11-12 action. right here at the Emily Griffith Waterfront Stadium. Got to say big kudos to Sports, Parks, and Recreation, and the runner has to return to second base on the kick ball. So runners on first and second with 2 away. Here in the bottom of the second, Elijah Winter stumps it. Whoa, big swing as it fouled off the arm of the catcher, Crook. Winter hits from the left side. Tall fellow for his age. No balls, 1 strike to count. George looks in for St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch. Outside for ball 1. Count is now even at 1 ball, 1 strike there, 2 away. We're in the bottom of the second inning, a 5-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. St. Croix threatening Elijah Winter and doing the hitting. Big swing came up empty for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the left-hand hitting Elijah Winter with 2 away and 2 on. Here comes the pitch from George. He swings and comes up empty for strike 3. So after 2 complete, the score remains 5-0. We'll be right back.
You're building a house? Bait Trucking can assist you from ground up. Here you are. Bait Trucking provides ground clearing, debris removal, and tree trimming. If you are a do-it-yourselfer, rent a 20 or 30-yard bin and clean it up yourself. Bait Trucking can supply all your building needs: 4, 6, and 8-inch blocks and concrete septic tanks from 500 to 1,500 gallons. Bait Trucking can transport sand, cement, and gravel, plus move any off-island shipment from Gallows Bay or Container Port to wherever you want it. When the house done, call Bait Trucking for the water to fill up the system. Look, just buy the land and call we. Bait Trucking, trash removal and water delivery. Call 778-1609.
Remember, the best rate with Bait.
From Mumbiju to Mountain Top. It's WLTV 107.9.
And we're back here at the Emily Griffith Waterfront Stadium as we go to the top of the 3rd inning. St. Thomas 9-10 All-Stars leading St. Croix 9-10 All-Stars by a score of 5-0. Yes, good afternoon to the gang at Boshelter Landscaping. You need to get some landscaping done, commercial, residential, industrial landscaping. Trust me, they do it all at Boshelter Landscaping. Now coming to the hitting. Blash Jr. Swings at the first one, fouls it off right at the plate. Went down for that low pitch. So the count now on Jamari Blash Jr. No balls, 1 strike as he leads off the top of the 3rd for St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch. Swinging ball back towards the second baseman. Second baseman camps under it. Puts it away for out number 1. And Croy throwing it around. Getting that energy back. Frias come to do the hitting now. Hits from the right side for St. Thomas. Swing and miss at a high cheese from Johnson. No balls, 1 strike. And Abdiel Frias for St. Thomas. Here in top of the 3rd with 1 away and nobody on. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Way outside. Velez couldn't pull that one up. So the count now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 away, bases are empty. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. A 5-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Yes, right in there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases empty. Frias doing the hitting. Johnson on the mound for St. Croix. Here comes the pitch. And it's a fly ball down the third base line. Third baseman backs up and puts it away in fair territory. Fires the ball down to second base as St. Croix getting some great defensive play here in the top of the third. So there's now 2 away and the bases are empty. Coming to do the hitting, Khalif Edwards. 5-0 the score in favor of St. Thomas. Johnson throws the rubber for St. Croix. He winds and he fires. In high and tight for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. And he's fly ball in between. Oh, beautiful attempt by the left fielder. Now the ball is thrown away, goes into right fielder. Right fielder gets it, fires on the third. It gets away and it goes to the fence. And now coming home to score is Edwards. A great attempt by the left fielder to get a ball that was in between there. Couldn't get it, ball was thrown towards second, got away from the second baseman, and Edwards kept running and he came in safely for the 6th run of the game for St. Thomas. Jamori Crook hits it, he fouls it out of play. Jamor. Any godfather, but I know you people. Jamor Crook. So there's no balls, 1 strike. And Crook. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Outside for ball 1. 1-1 to count. One ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. And it's a fly ball down the right field line and foul. If Jamor got that in there, it would have been sweet. To the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are empty. 6-0 ball game. Here comes the pitch from Johnson to Crook. He hits a scuttle down to the shortstop who was waiting for it to put it away. Great contact by Crook. Great play by shortstop for St. Croix. At the end of 2.5, it's a 6-0 ball game.
Before Universal Concrete, when they came, no matter what time the scheduled delivery. Before Universal Concrete, prices rose as many as 3 times in a year. Before Universal Concrete, there were no deals, no discounts. Think about it. Universal Concrete, making the difference.
Universal Concrete. Call 340-776-6600 or online at www.universalconcretevi.com. Universal Concrete. There's a new mix on island.
Are you a brownie lover? Does a warm chocolate brownie brighten your day? Satisfy your sweet tooth chocolate craving with a delicious warm chocolate brownie from KFC. Try KFC's delicious warm chocolate brownies filled with chocolate chips. Get a slice for $2.99 or the whole thing for $6.99. Fill your sweet tooth chocolate craving with a delicious warm chocolate brownie from KFC. KFC, Sunny Isle, Orange Grove, Frederiksted, St. Croix, Niski, downtown, Port Milliner, St. Thomas.
You're listening to 107.9 FM, Divide. No borders, no boundaries, one VI. And that's a done deal. Ah!
Yes, and we are back here at Atlanta Roberts Waterfront Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, a 6-0 ball game. You guys stop tinkering over there. 6-0 the score as we go now to the bottom of the third. Kyrie George on the mound. Oh, the ball thrown out to second base. Got past the shortstop, second baseman, and center fielder. Coming up to do the hitting now for St. Croix All-Stars. Where's number 9 on his back? Kimani Davis does the hitting. As we have a change in the feeling. Davis steps in. Here comes the pitch from George. First pitch swinging. He hits, pops it up down towards first base. First baseman comes in to foul territory in front of the coach's box and puts it away for out number 1. Davis was first pitch swinging, liked what he saw but couldn't get it cleanly. So there's a 1 away here now in the bottom of the third inning. A 6-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Eric Perez comes in to do the hitting. Made a beautiful play to end the last inning. First pitch hits it down to his counterpart. And shortstop gets it. Fires the first. Good reach. Good stretch by Prentice as the ball was a little bit askew. And he reached over and put it away. Shortstop hit the ball to the shortstop. And that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the third. Base is empty. Coming to the hitting now. Zinai Encarnacion. Diminutive fellow hits from the right side, squares the bunt. Puts it down. Foul. He got some speed too. Encarnacion was flying down the first base line. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, base is empty. Encarnacion doing the hitting. Here comes the pitch from George. Puts a bunt down the first base line. And the speedy Encarnacion gets down there safely. As George got over to get it, slipped on the ground a bit, tried to hand the ball but couldn't get it. Speedy Encarnacion on with a bunt. So there's 1 on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning for St. Croix. Colton Charles comes up to do the hitting, the leadoff batter for St. Croix here in the bottom of the third. Here comes the pitch. In tight and high. They're watching Encarnacion as it looks like he's full of speed. One ball, no strikes on the right hand hitting Colton Charles for St. Croix here in the bottom of the third. Next pitch swings and misses and heading to second base is Encarnacion. Slides in safely. There was no throw. So the count now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul as he swung at the inside and tight pitch for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. In tight. Just missed. Heading to third is Encarnacion. He gets down there safely as the ball got away from the catcher. To the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Runner on third. Here comes the pitch from George. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss for strike 3. As that ends the inning. As St. Croix threatened to get one across but couldn't get it done. So we go to the top of the fourth. It's a 6-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas coming to bat.
Do you play Pokino? Yeah. Pokino. It's like bingo, but you play with a deck of cards. In Pokino, there's multiple winners every game. Yeah. There's box, center, corners, four of a kind, straight, and Pokino. In the final game, there's half. Oh, sorry. I thought I was playing. That's the big part. If you like bingo, you love Pokino. Come play, win, and have some fun at the Chill Station. It's Pokino every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. at the Chill Station. Pokino! House! 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 What happened? I'm practicing Pokino. It's like bingo on steroids. Don't forget to bring your quarters.
107.9 5 FM.
Give him a shout. He can, there we go. Yeah, CNC Transport. Yeah, the Philippe Turnbull he's walking about. Yeah, he will do all kind of things. Trust and believe. Excavation, moving of different material. You call them the big, pretty silver trucks. You got them right there. All right, now coming to the hitting for St. Thomas. First pitch is a strike. Kyrie George. All right, number 11. I missed one of the ones. Doing the hitting is Bryson Smith. Sorry about that, Bryson. Count now, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the leader batter here in the top of the 4th for St. Thomas. He swings right through some high heat from Johnson. Well, Velez's mid popped on that one. 1 ball, 2 strike the count. Here comes the pitch. Low and in the dirt. Grip the ball a little too hard there. Bryson Smith doing the hit in the count now. Even 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are no outs. He's leading off the top of the 4th inning for St. Thomas. A 6-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Low and outside. The count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the 4th inning for St. Thomas. A 6-0 ball game. Johnson looks in. Here comes the pitch. Bung them ball down towards third base. Third baseman bobbles it, picks it up, fires the first. Not in time. As Bryson Smith gets down there on the E6. E5, thank you very much. It was a third base, not a shortstop. So there's a run on first base with no outs. When the top of the 4th inning comes to the hitting now is Kyrie George. George hits from the right side. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. He swings at a ball over his head for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Pitcher versus pitcher. Johnson looks in. Here comes the pitcher, George. Bung him fly ball into center field. The center, oh, beautiful catch. The center fielder went over and he pulled that one in. Looked like he was loafing, but he had that ball tracked right perfectly. Beautiful play by the center fielder for St. Croix. Naheem Charlery. Coming to the hitting now. Jaden Hanley. Hanley hitting with One away, run on first. Ball low in the dirt. Stop by Velez. Good stop. Bryson Smith can advance. Hanley steps back in. Here comes the pitch from Johnson. Swing and a miss. For strike one. Don't know even at 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 out. When the top of the 4th inning, there's 1 on at first base in that of Bryson Smith for St. Thomas. Johnson looks in for St. Croix. In tight, gets out of the way. Does Hanley. Cup now, 2 balls, 1 strike on the right hand hitting Hanley with 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Hanley moving in the box as he swings. Came up empty. Count now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Run on first base. There's 1 out. Top of the 4th. Low in the dirt. Ball gets away. Head into second. Ball gets off the backstop. Goes right back to the pitcher Johnson, who picks it up. Got past Velez. Hit the base of the wall and got back out to Johnson, who was alert to go over and pick up the ball. Back on the rubber now. The count now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 away, run on second. Here comes the pitch. He struck him out. A beautiful pitch. Hanley shakes his head like, yeah. Acknowledging the beautiful pitch thrown there by Johnson for the 2nd out of the inning. So Jaden Jean-Louis. Well, Jean-Louis comes to hit now. With 2 away, 1 on second. First pitch low and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base in that of Bryson Smith for St. Thomas. Here in the top of the 4th, leading 6-0 over St. Croix. Here comes the pitch. Oh, a floater. Pop up straight in the infield. Oh! Beautiful play by Johnson. The pitcher ranged over from the mound and caught that ball on a backhand, dying as it came across the 3rd base line for out number 3. So at the end of 3.5, the score 6-0. St. Croix coming to bat.
So you got a piece of land. You just get it? Oh, you had it a while. So now you're ready to clear it? Call Bates 778-1649. Bates has the equipment to clear up that acreage. What you got to clear? A 1/4 acre house plot, 1 acre, 2 acre, 10 acre, a whole island? Call Bates. Bates has backhoes, tractorators, and bins to clear it up and move it out. He even have a mulcher. Yeah, Bates got a mulcher. Boy, Bates mulcher will take off that tan, that kasha, light, medium, heavy brush, crab bush, you name it, ain't have a chance with Bates mulcher. Boy, Bates mulcher will take it in and spit it out. So look, if you have a 1/4 acre house plot, 1 or 2 acre development, 10 acres, I tell you, if you have a whole island, you want it clear? Call Bates 778-1649. Bates trucking, trash removal, and water delivery. Call 778-1649. Hello, clear that land. Call Bates. You're listening to 107.9 FM, Divide. No borders, no boundaries, 1 VI. And that's a done deal.
As we go to the bottom of the 4th, there was, may have been a change, but there was no change for the pitchers. As we're here for the Little League All-Star Showcase. Guys, say a big shout out to our sponsors who make it possible. And all of you coming out to see the children perform here in the Little League All-Star Showcase. As we just be made aware that Johnson is done for St. Croix. He's reached his count. Did a wonderful job on the mound and made some great defensive play just to wrap his time up as well. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. A 6-0 ball game. Coming to do the hitting now is Charlery. And he hits a hits a cut down the third base line. Beautiful stop, backhanded throw. Is going to be second. Oh, and he got in there safely. Wow. Charlery jumped on a ball, hit a scud right down the third base line. The third baseman tried to backhand it. That was his only chance. Got past him. The left fielder picked it up, threw a strike down to second base, and Charlery just got in there safely before the Tigers. The ball was knocked out as well for a leadoff double here in the bottom of the fourth. Coming to do the hitting now is Leo Joseph. He swings and comes up empty. Does the left-hand hitting Joseph for St. Croix. So we're in the bottom of the fourth inning, a run on second with nobody out. Leo Joseph doing the hitting, and a beautiful pitch by George for St. Thomas for strike two. No balls, 2 strikes on the left-hand hitting Leo Joseph. Swing and came up empty. A big hack by the left-hander. Came up empty for strike 3. So there's 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. A runner on second in that of Kahim Charlery. Joviel Velez doing the hitting now. First pitch is low and outside to the right hand hitting Velez. They call him Jovi. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. George looked like he took a little something off of that one, as Velez was ahead. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on second base. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning, 6-0 ball game. Here comes the pitch from George. He swings, fouls it off. A little nick for strike 2. The count now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jovi Velez for St. Croix here in the bottom of the fourth. He struck him out swinging, as George seemingly took something off of that pitch. Did Kyrie George had Velez way ahead. Now Johnson comes in to see if he can help his cause. He's no longer on the mound, but he's the big bat here in the inning. Wayden Johnson swings and he misses for strike 1. The big right-hander with a runner on second base and 2 away here in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes the pitch from George to Johnson. He fouled it off, just got a piece of it. Bounced back to the screen. Now behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runner on second base. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. St. Thomas leading St. Croix 6-0. Kyrie George on the mound for St. Thomas. Looks in at his battery mate. Here comes the pitch. Woo, just getting a piece of it did Johnson. If he catch it clean, it could be a problem for St. Thomas. Johnson steps back in. 2-2 the count. Excuse me, 0-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, swung at a ball above his head for strike 3. So at the end of 4 complete, it remains a 6-0 ball game. We'll be right back.
Before Universal Concrete, when they came, no matter what time the scheduled delivery. Before Universal Concrete, prices rose as many as 3 times in a year. Before Universal Concrete, there were no deals, no discounts. Think about it. Universal Concrete, making the difference.
Universal Concrete. Call 340-776-6600 or online at www.universalconcretevi.com. Universal Concrete. There's a new mix on island.
It's Hot Day!
You heard right. Tuesday is Hot Day at Pizza Hut. Every Tuesday, it's Hot Day at Pizza Hut.
Hot Day!
Get a large cheese pizza for only $19.99 from Pizza Hut. Additional toppings only $2.25 each. So you can get your large Pizza Hut pizza exactly how you like it.
Hot Day!
Tuesday is Hot Day at Pizza Hut. Get a large cheese pizza from Pizza Hut for just $19.99. Pizza Hut, Bill Lorraine St. Croix, Fort Milner, St. Thomas.
It's hot day.
Limited time offer.
107.9 5 FM.
Yes, and we are back here at the Emmy Griffith Waterfront Stadium. Done deal. We got a pitching change. He didn't quite realize that he was out of the game for pitching at least. Did Johnson, so he went in now. Coming to do the pitching is Charlery. I like Charlery uniform. Don't come uniform and saying go have the chain. Check it out. Proper. So yes, we are here in the top of the 5th inning. 6-0 ball game. Charlery coming in relief as Johnson was in Croy. Waterfront Stadium. We got one game to go when this is complete. We got 11-12 action. This is the Little League showcase as the Virgin Islands will be presenting one team comprised of the entire Virgin Islands to represent us and bring back all the glory. Beautiful day for baseball, not too hot. As the sun sets here, as a couple other changes being made to make sure you got all the right people on the field. And the fielder runs out now for St. Croix. As Charlery gets his last couple pitches in and warm up. Again, remember for Little League Baseball now, everybody hits. If they get 90 people on the team, all 90 of them will hit. Coming to do the hitting now as here in the top of the 5th. Janai Lewis as coach is being told to look like a coach. Put your shot in the pants. Janai Lewis steps in. First pitch is in there for a strike as he's square to bunt. And Charlery had a pitch waiting for him. No balls, one strike on the left-hand hitting. Squares a bunt again. Reaches out. Strike 2. Janai Lewis quickly behind in the count. No balls. 2 strikes. He leads off the inning here in the top of the 5th for St. Thomas, who lead the game 5-0. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. And he takes it right down the middle for strike 3. 3 pitches, 1 out. For Charlery, coming into the game in relief of Johnson for St. Croix, 9-10 All-Stars. Ariam Romero does the hitting now, hits from the right side for St. Thomas. First pitch way high for ball 1. 1 ball. No strikes. 1 away. He swings, shot up on his bat, fouled it down the first baseline of the dugout. Ball is retrieved, got back in. Charlery looks in and sees a hit on the count. Count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike, excuse me. Ball is high. Velez tried to shift it in and down, but didn't pull the umpire. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bases are empty. We're in the top of the 5th, a 6-0 ball. Give me favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch, low and in the dot to Romero. Romero now ahead of the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Ariam Romero hits from the right side. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. Good pitch, good swing by Romero, fouled it back to the screen, showing he was just off. The count is now full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 out, bases are empty. We're in the top of the 5th inning. St. Thomas leading 5-0. Here comes the pitcher Romero from Charlery. High. For ball 4. Charlery lost him. Coming to do the hitting now, Jordan Prentice. He's now playing first base, a big fellow. Here comes the pitch. And it looked like he hit him on the elbow. He ain't too happy about it. Looked like he didn't quite see it coming quick enough to get out of the way. The big guy lumbers down to first base. He almost as big as the coach. My cousin, good size, you see him down there. Coming to the hitting now, the leadoff hitter for St. Thomas. Jacent Crook. He squares a bunt, pulls it up, ball gets away. Good stop by Velez as he kept it in front of him. Runners cannot advance. 6-0 the score. Crook steps back in, looks at his coach down third base. First baseman comes in. The blue make sure there's a good line in front of the box so Crook could know where not to pass. Runners on first and second with one away. Here comes the pitch from Crook. Yes, right there outside corner. Even the count of 1 ball, 1 strike. There's one away. Runners on first and second. We're in the top of the 5th. 6-0 ball game. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. Bung them ball down towards third base. Third baseman gets it. He goes on fire to first. Just in time for out number 2. The runners do advance to second and third. Good play by the third baseman for St. Croix as he stayed focused and fired it down to first base, just beating the fleet of foot Crook. Kenya Fleming steps in now with 2 away. First pitch is in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners on second and third in the top of the 5th. A 6-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. In tight for ball 1. 1 ball. 1 strike. 1-1 to count with 2 away. Here comes the pitch. He falls, it sticks in the screen and the ball was in and tight. Now behind on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-1. Second and third for St. Thomas. A 6-0 ball game here in the top of the 5th inning. Here comes the pitch. Low and the dot, it bungs away. And the runner stays on third, which is a good hole because Velez was on it. Like a mongoose on a chicken. Quick. Count now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. And a fly ball down towards second base. Second baseman goes. First baseman calls him off, puts it away for out number 3. So after 4.5 complete, the score remains 6-0 in favor of St. Thomas.
Do you play Pokino? Yeah. Pokino. It's like bingo, but you play with a deck of cards. In Pokino, there's multiple winners every game. Yeah. There's box, center, corners, 4 of a kind, straight, and Pokino. In the final game, there's half. Oh, sorry. I thought I was playing. That's the big part. If you like bingo, you love Pokino. Come play, win, and have some fun at the Chill Station. It's Pokino every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. at the Chill Station. Pokino! Half! 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 Rapping and practicing Pokino. It's like bingo on steroids.
Don't forget to bring your quarters.
You're listening to 107.9 FM, Divide. No borders, no boundaries, one VI. And that's a done deal.
All right. And we're back here now at the Immigrant Waterfront Stadium as Kerry George still on the mound. All right, Kerry George making his way through. Still has 24 pitches to go as he's here now in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll see if he can make it all the way through, forcing Thomas 9 to 10 All-Stars. Nieves coming to the hitting now for St. Croix here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Rafael Nieves. Playing a stellar second base for the St. Croix All-Stars. As some changes being made by the hat. Not sure what the difference is. By the right fielder. George looks into Nieves. Here comes the pitch from George. Swing and a miss for strike one. No balls. One strike on the leadoff batter for St. Croix here in the bottom of the 5th as they trail 6-0. George winds and he fires. Just misses. Ball 2. Jaden Sean Louis, exactly, is doing the catching now for St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch from George. Got a piece of, yes sir, got a piece of it and fouled it to the screen. Count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. In and tight. For ball 2, the count now even. Two balls, 2 strikes. Leading off the bottom of the 5th is Nieves. 6-0 ball game. Favor of St. Thomas. George looks in. 2-1-2 the count. Here comes the pitch to Nieves. Ooh, and he swung right through it for strike 3. So there's one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Coming to the hitting is Yandriel Bermudez. Bermudez hits from the right side with 1 away. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. Here comes the pitch from George. He's swing and miss at the low outside heat. No balls, 1 strike. And Yandriel Bermudez. Here comes the pitch from George. Right in there for strike 2. Bermudez looks down at his third base coach, gets some encouragement, gives a thumbs up, gets in there. 1-2 the count. Here comes the pitch from George. Iron outside of the glove of the catcher. Count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jean-Louis doing the catching now for St. Thomas. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. A fly ball into the shortstop, goes back, then comes in, puts it away. As the shortstop for St. Thomas took a step back, that of Jamori Blash Jr. So there's 2 away, nobody on. Bottom of the 5th. Stepping in For St. Croix, Janiel Perez. Perez hits from the right side. White uniform, white helmet. Here comes the pitch from George. First pitch is in there, swing and a miss for strike one. No balls, one strike on Janiel Perez of the 9-10 All-Stars of St. Croix. Next pitch, he gave a little tip of it, but caught. Strike two. 0-2 to the count as seemed like Kyrie George found a second wind. Here comes the pitch. Bong them ball back towards the pitcher. Pitcher gets it. George fires high on a beautiful play by Prentice as he threw it high and outside. Prentice reached back and got his foot back on the bag in time to get the speedy Bermudez. So at the end of 5 complete, the score remains 6-0 in favor of St. Thomas. We'll be right back.
So you got a piece of land, you just get it? Or you had it a while, so now you're ready to clear it? Call Bates 778-1649. Bates has the equipment to clear up that acreage. What you got to clear? A quarter-acre house plot, 1 acre, 2 acre, 10 acre, a whole island? Call Bates. Bates has backhoes, tractorators, and bins to clear it up and move it out. He even have a mulcher. Yeah, Bates.
Lamari Blash Jr. One ball, no strike, the count. Here comes the pitch from Charlery.
Bung the ball on the top base. Top baseman tries to backhand it. Got on his glove. Blash is on first. Stands up as a third shot. Stop to St. Croix and then to back it up. Great play by him. Stopping Blash from heading to second base easily. The leadoff batter is on for
St. Thomas here in the top of the 6th inning. Coming to do the hitting now, Abdiel Frias. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. In and tight, heading down to second is Blash with a ton of speed. One ball. No strikes on Frias. Next ball out and the dot. Good try by Velez. Velez to get it, but couldn't backhand that one way outside. Charlery a bit wide. Two balls, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. And he hits a little flu putt back towards the first baseman. First baseman comes in and gathers it in for out number 1. Good play by the first baseman as he came across in front of the second baseman who couldn't quite get there for the out. So now doing the hitting. Bung him ball down towards first base. First baseman gets it. Pitcher picks it up, excuse me, Charlery. Flipped it to first base, but a run scores as a beautiful play by Khalif Edwards. Put the ball down the first base line. So it's now 7-0 with bases empty and 2 away. Swing and a miss. Good hack by Jamor Crook. But he stepped away a bit and got the end of the bat on the ball. Statue reminds me a bit of ball is low. Of the buy for BB Bates. Back in that day. Here comes the pitch. Inside strike. They're on top of the plate. So that one is good for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs. Bases are empty. A 7-0 ball game here in the top of the 6th in favor of St. Thomas. Charlie winds and fires for St. Croix. Foul it back as Jamal Crook protecting the plate. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases are empty. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Here comes a pitch from Charlery. Bong them ball on the third baseman. He's sitting way back. He fires. Not in time. As the third baseman was way back behind the bag. Maybe fearing the strength of Crook. Had a long throw. Pulled the first baseman off the ball, off the bag, getting it there. Bryson Smith now steps in with 2 away and a run on first. Woo! Got to get down out of the way of that one. The one got away from Charlery. For ball 1. 1 ball. No strikes, 2 outs. 1 on first, 7-0 score here in the top of the 6th for St. Thomas. Swing and a miss. Big sweeping swing came up empty for Bryson Smith. The count now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. There are 2 outs. 1 on first base, and that of Crook. A ball hit towards center field is going to get down. Good stop by the center fielder. He stopped it with his bare hand and fired it back towards the shortstop. Beautiful play by the center fielder for St. Croix and a beautiful hit by Bryson Smith of St. Thomas. Little league action right here at its best. Kyrie George is pitcher versus pitcher with 2 outs, 2 on. George trying to add to his lead here in the top of the 6th. First pitch way outside. Crook takes a big lead from second. Velez doesn't take him on. Trade right back to Charlery. 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss as an inside tight pitch. To even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. There are 2 outs. Runners on first and second for St. Thomas as they're threatening to add to the 7-0 score here in the top of the 6th. Swing and a miss as George seemed to be way off of that pitch. Charlery ahead right now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here comes the pitch from Charlery. And it's a fly ball towards right fielder. Right fielder going back. Oh, had it and dropped it. 1 run is going to be in. Heading to second base was George. He stopped as the ball went down to third base. The third baseman gathered it in. But 2 more runs are in. And a beautiful hit by Kyrie George, the right fielder for St. Croix, went back and he tried to backhand it over his head. Had it in his glove but couldn't control it. Seems to be a double to me. Scored a double. Beautiful hit. Ball way outside. Good stop by Velez. Ooh, George almost was in a pickle as he took off, but realized that Velez had stopped the ball for St. Croix. Jaden Hanley now doing the hitting. The 1 ball, no strike the count. 2 outs, 1 on second. Pitch is inside for 2 balls on the right hand hitting Jaden Hanley. They're 2 away. We're in the top of the 6th inning. That pitch is in there for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs on Jaden Hanley. 9-0 ball game in favor of St. Thomas, 9-10. Swing, he took a big hack and came up empty. Count now even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. There are 2 outs, a runner on second base, 3 runs in to make it a 9-0 ball game here in the top of the 6th. Here comes the pitch from Challery, and it's a fly ball of Lil Drooper, and it hits fair inside the first base line, headed to second base, and getting in there safely is Jaden Hanley, as he hit a flare down the first base line outside of the reach of the first baseman and the right fielder, as he gets a double. Another run is in. It's 10-0 to score. Jaden Jean-Louis doing the hitting now. And he hits it right back to the pitcher. The pitcher, Challery, gets it. Fires to first, as Jean-Louis was first pitch swinging. And his out at first ends the inning. So after 5.5, the score is now 10-0 in favor of St. Thomas. St. Croix has some work to do. We'll be right back.
Before Universal Concrete, when they came, no matter what time the scheduled delivery. Before Universal Concrete, prices rose as many as 3 times in a year. Before Universal Concrete, there were no deals, no discounts. Think about it. Universal Concrete, making the difference.
Universal Concrete. Call 340-776-6600 or online at www.universalconcretevi.com. Universal Concrete. There's a new mix on island.
Feeling like nuggets? 100% white meat chicken nuggets? There's only one place to get them. That's at KFC. 5 nuggets, $4.99. 8 nuggets, $7.49. 12 nuggets, $10.99, or get a combo. 8-piece combo fries and drink, $13.99. 5-piece nuggets, kids meal, $8.99. Feeling like nuggets? 100% white meat chicken nuggets? Only at KFC. KFC, Sunny Isle, Orange Grove, Frederiksted, St. Croix, Niski, downtown, Fort Milner, St. Thomas.
You're listening to 107.9 FM, The Vibe. No borders, no boundaries, one VI. And that's a done deal. Bow.
As we go now to the bottom of the 6th inning, a 10-0 ball game, and Prentice steps in to do the pitching now. Jordan Prentice steps in to do the pitching now for St. Thomas 9-10 All-Stars. I don't believe that George went over his count. $10 for 12 is the change. Again, we're here live on the Vibe. Say big thank you to our sponsors like C&C Transport and the gang at Bush Shelter Landscaping. Got one more game to go after this. 11-12 action. Big thanks to KFC Pizza Hut, Page Trucking, Universal Concrete, and the Chill Station, all helping us to bring the games to you. As Jordan Prentice now on the mound, a big fellow. 9-10. As this is St. Croix's do or die inning. Got a lot of work to do. As they trail 10-0, but nothing is impossible. And we got Kyrie George had 63 pitches made. So didn't reach his pitch count. But the management of the team decided to bring in a closer. As we go here to the bottom of the sixth. And leading it off, hoping to start the rally for St. Croix is Elijah Winter. Steven, the block. So if you're listening to us right there in the vibe and you can make it down to the park to give the children some upfront and live support, come on down. If St. Croix is able to come back and win this game, we'll have game number 3 tomorrow. That's the way to start it if you're on the St. Croix end. Leadoff batter is on by hit by pitch. Kimani Davis now comes to do the hitting. It's from the right side with one on and no outs. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside, gets away. Gets past the catcher, right back to the pitcher, Prentice. So now a runner on second with nobody out. 2 pitches thrown so far, 2 balls from Prentice. 1 ball, no strike. Davis squares a bunt. He bunts it up in the air, back to the screen for strike 1. Davis, that is, excuse me. Squared to bunt. Don't want to give anybody else his credit. So 1 ball, 1 strike. And Kimani Davis for St. Croix 9-10 All-Stars. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Squares the bunt again. The ball is high. For ball 2. 2 balls. 1 strike. Kimani, a little fellow, not too tall. As we get a timeout call as the catcher is trying to fix his catching gears. Coach Wally Cat attempts to help him get it together. Saw the teams for the 11-12 outside the fence getting loose. As they're up next. 2 balls, 1 strike on the count to Kimani Davis. Runner on second and no outs. Here comes the pitch. Oh yes, runner takes up a third. Throw down late. Oh! They had him. He got knocked out of the glove. As the throwdown was late, as the Winter took off, but the catcher didn't realize he took off for St. Thomas. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Kimani Davis with a run on third, outside. For ball 3, the count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Runner on third in that of Elijah Winter for St. Croix. Here comes the pitch to Davis, outside. And Davis gets a walk. So 2 runners are on here in the bottom of the 6th for St. Croix 9-10 All-Star. The first one by hit by pitch, the second by walk. Runners on the corners with no outs. Eric Perez comes to do the hitting now. 10-0 the score. Prentice looks in. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He threw it right through the bottom of the second base. Ball is knocked away. Run is in. for St. Croix as Winter comes across on the throwdown to second base. If that catcher for St. Thomas had faked that throw, they could have just hugged Winter. Here comes the pitch. Foul. So 1 run is in for St. Croix with no outs, a runner on second base. No balls, 2 strikes to Eric Perez. Here comes the pitch from Prentice. And it's back up the middle. Gets down to the first. Ball gets away. Here comes the play to the plate. No! And in safely is Davis scoring from second. St. Croix has their rally caps on, and so far it's working. As Eric Davis hit a CNI single to the perfect spot on the infield, gets down safely. Here we go. First pitch in is a strike to Zenai Encarnacion. No balls, 1 strike, 2 runs in, nobody out, runner on first base for St. Croix here in the do-or-die inning. Square to bunt, ball thrown inside and tight. Runner is running to second. Good play by the shortstop who came in to back up third. Yes, Perez might have ended up down there. So there's no outs. Runner on second base. Two runs in thus far for St. Croix in their do-or-die inning. Their rally caps are on, and so far it's working. A hit by pitch to start the inning, followed by a walk, then a hit. 2 runs are in. Runner on second base. And doing the hitting now, Encarnacion, with a count 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch, and he bunts it foul. That Encarnacion put a bunt down, and the ball was high. He got it down, but it just drifted foul down the third base line. The count now 1 ball, 2 strikes. There are no outs, runner on second. Encarnacion doing the hitting here in the bottom of the 6th. A 10-2 ball game in favor of St. Thomas. Here comes the pitch. He squares the bunt once again. And it's foul. And he is out. So 1 away. And starting the leadoff batter is back up for St. Croix, Colton Charles. Look like he's going to change his bat. There's 1 out, a runner on second for St. Croix. They trail 10-2. They got those 2 runs across in this inning. Jordan Prentice on the mound. Here comes the pitch. Woo, in there for strike 1. Somebody told Prentice something. That came in there with some heat. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out, 2 runs in, 1 on. Here comes the pitch. He swings and he misses for strike 2. Colton Charles behind. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Here comes the pitch from Prentice to Charles. In tight. Runner takes off. No, he stops. They don't throw the ball. Runner on second base. Okay. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Here comes the pitch. And it's a flare foul. Another play into the road. Please help us out with the balls. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. I like Charles' energy. He was running. That's the way to do it. Lead them say it's foul. Steps back in. Here comes the pitch from Prentice. Swing and a miss at the high cheese for strike 3. St. Croix 9-10 All-Stars now down to the final batter. Kahim Charlery. Charlery came in relief of Johnson. Started off in center field. It's from the right side with 2 away, a runner on second. And St. Croix trading 10-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Here comes the pitch from Prentice. Right in there for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike on the right hand hitting Charlery. Hits. Get away to play. Runner gets down to third as Charlery was able to get out of the way of that errant throw from Prentice. Pitch, I should say. As they're working on that catch in gear for St. Thomas. That's Jaden Jean-Louis. Seemingly got it fixed now. The count now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. There are 2 outs, a runner on third. It's a 10-2 ball game. St. Croix pushing across 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th before the first out was recorded. Here comes the pitch. That pitch is in there for strike 1. Excuse me, strike 2. Thanks for the correction, everybody. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third base. Prentice looks in. Charlery gets ready for St. Croix. Here comes the pitch. And he struck him out looking for strike 3. And that ends the game. St. Thomas victorious in 9-10 action, 10-2 as the players line up to show a sign of sportsmanship. First game completed in 9-10 action this evening, 10-2 the score in favor of St. Thomas over St. Croix. This is the Little League All-Star Showcase. Yeah. I could barely hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
She looking at her now, can we get it done? Bartender, why you mix us up? Yeah. Pretty little wine, girl. Dressed up in designer, girl. Me and you together, girl, we'll fit till man. Life's so sweet, oh yeah. I'm whining on something sweet, oh yeah. Call out the work for the week, oh yeah. I can't believe life's so sweet, oh yeah. I really can't get enough of your whining. The way I bend up every timing. But it feel cool when we grinding. Put on, why I get enough of your whining. The way can work